Hello and welcome to the OMFL Atlanta Falcons review. I'm your host, Mike Fleury, and in this episode, we will be dealing with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm fairly certain that was a Week 12 matchup? 13? God, who knows anymore? No, you know what? It was a Week 14 matchup. We are in Week 16. All the math makes sense. Week 14, Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, this game was a CPU game. Not a lot to talk about except for the one thing to talk about, which is after 70 some odd catches, 1,600 yards, 17 touchdowns, Brian Thomas Jr.'s season is over. He got hurt on just a nothing play, kind of got bumped out of bounds. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting told he has like a dislocated hip and he's done for the season. Or at least 5 weeks as of the time of the injury. There were like 4 games left. So it is a major blow to my offense. He's my number one receiver. And it's going to be difficult to replicate some of the stuff he does. Drake London is a very good possession receiver. I don't use him enough, but getting him the ball underneath gets him tackled almost immediately. He doesn't have the elusiveness. Rondale Moore is not as fast and not as consistent. I'm going to have to try to find a way to get both of them more involved. I don't entirely know what that's going to look like. BTJ got hurt kind of later in the game, so I didn't really get a chance to try Rondale Moore and figure out what to do with him. I checked a couple plays. I got a couple touchdowns, I think, out of him, or at least one. And I got an earlier one on a jet touch pass that he broke. But it's not going to be an easy injury to get over. There is no 1-to-1 switch. BTJ is 6'2". He's got 95 speed. He's elusive enough. I can get him the ball in any situation. Now, unfortunately, there are plays that Drake London is big enough to make, but he's not fast enough to get separation. And Rondale Moore is fast enough to get separation. But in any contested play, he's very much undersized. I think he's like 5'11". Not going to come down with most passes. It's just going to end up with us having to redo our offense a little bit. We can't rely on Pitts too much more than we already do, because we're already kind of riding that line of wide receiver to tight end catches. And our run game just has not been there. I'm a run-first player. I've always had a very good run game in every league and every game I've ever played, except this one. It was pretty good in Jacksonville, but since coming to Atlanta, it just has not been the same. And Bijan Robinson has like 700 yards or something, and we are entering the final 3 weeks of the season. I don't think he'll even crack 1,000. And I don't really know what's wrong with it. It's just, part of me wants to say it's blocking, but maybe it's the plays I'm calling. I'm not 100% sure. And at this point in the season, I don't think I'm going to get it figured out. So, basically this game was just a blowout. CPU game, just trying out new plays, trying out plays that I call fairly regularly, just trying to get a feel of some of them that I haven't had in my playbook for very long. It was obviously a one-sided game, 45-9 final. Gaffney had 448 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bijan only 45 yards on the ground, and that's kind of my point. I just can't seem to get him going. BTJ had 8 catches, 236 before he went down. 5 for Rondale Moore for 135, but that was just me trying to get him, see what he can do in that BTJ spot. 77 for Kyle Pitts. My defense was pretty good, but again, CPU game, so you can only take so much from it. And I can only talk so much about it. Unfortunately, this is going to be a shorter episode. Gonna throw on the highlight package for this game and probably call it an early one. We are at the end of this game, I want to say 7-6. Sounds about right. We basically need to win out to have a chance at the playoffs. We have too many teams ahead of us. The Giants are right with us. Obviously, Arizona. The 3 teams in the NFC North are fighting for a playoff spot, but they will all probably finish around 10 to 11 wins. So for us to compete with all of that, we will need to finish around 11 wins as well. It means we have to beat Trey next week, Nate the week after that. Then I believe it's Tennessee, and then finally the Colts. And the Colts will be in a playoff race themselves. I don't know what's going on with Tennessee. Trey's in the playoff race with us, so that'll be fun. And Nate is still keeping his season alive, so we're going to have to figure it out. We're going to have to see what Rondale Moore can do and go from there. So we will be back with next week's episode against Trey and the Commanders. So for the OMFL Atlanta Falcons review, I'm Mike Fleury. And as always, I'll try to do better next time.